that we could grow for the tilapia. And so we started worm composting. And we started doing worm composting up near the rest of the livestock. So they have some goats and they have some cows and they have some chickens, and we decided to build the worms up there so all the livestock would be kind of together. And so every morning I was getting up and walking out to the livestock and digging up and harvesting some worms and going and feeding the fish. And on the way back one morning, I happened to be walking by this latrine, and I decided to use the latrine, and I stepped into it, and there was a big hen chicken in the latrine. And she was like holding her ground. She did not want me to come into this latrine. And I was like, what is going on with this chicken? And so I kind of took a step back, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And she was just standing there, and so then I thought, well, okay, it's just a chicken. So I kind of pushed her aside and went into the latrine and started using the latrine. And while I was in there, I heard this sound. I was like standing in this side of it, which is like the urinal side of the latrine, and there's this big vent pipe next to it. And I was hearing this sound, like I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It sounded like water dripping or something, and it sounded like it was like really close to me, and it was coming out of this pipe. And all of a sudden, the chicken came running back into the latrine and like pushed me out of the way, and came in there and started pecking the ground, like almost right down by my feet. And I was like, wow, what's going on here? And what was happening was, and this is right before lunch, but bad timing for the story. But there was fly larvae, maggots, that were growing inside of this pit latrine that were climbing up this vent pipe and coming out, because when the fly larvae grow up, they get to a certain stage and they want to like get away from the rest of the fly larvae and go pupate and turn into a fly in the ground. And so they were trying to get out of that and go bury themselves. And they were falling out of this vent pipe and falling down on the ground, and the chicken was feasting on them. And I was like, wow, that's great. And so then I remembered that I was like getting up every morning and walking down and digging up these worms and walking all the way back to the fish tank. So I decided to cut out this plastic container, and I put it on top of the pipe. So when the fly larvae climbed up the vent pipe, they would fall into my plastic container. So then in the morning, I could just go over there and collect it, and I'd have like 200 fly larvae that I could just go and throw into the fish. So.
And the chicken went on.
The chicken still got some.
Now the chicken's eating the worms.
It was a great lesson that the chicken taught me there of how to observe things, that are happening already.
Can you please show the slide use and value renewable resources?
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to go through them again a little more slowly so everybody can see catch and store energy. Don't pay attention necessarily to this picture here. Just think about the principle and then come up with your own idea. Catch and store energy, obtain a yield, apply self-regulation, accept feedback, use invaluable renewable resources. Can you see that? Okay. Everybody has theirs. Produce no waste. Design from patterns to details. Okay, so take a little while and work with your partner and then come up with an example of that.